It's quite steep. Look how cold it is here. Look at the icicles on this thing. Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. In today's video I'll be showing you my climb to Nevis. Now I should point out that I'm recording this part after I've actually done the trip already. Now if you follow me on Instagram you would have seen that I've already been to the top. Now it was quite an adventure, I must say. Now unfortunately most of my footage was actually deleted due to my rubbish phone deciding to die right at the last minute. In fact, it died as soon as I got home, and it's an iPhone, and you'd think that it would automatically back up to iCloud, and usually it does. However, it requires Wi-Fi, and as I was without Wi-Fi pretty much most of the weekend that I was there, it started uploading some of the footage as soon as I got home, but not all of it before it decided to die. So for today's video, what I've done is I've collated a lot of my friends' footage that they took, and I've put them all together. And I do have some footage that I, managed to salvage, or it managed to upload before it decided to die. So I'll be using that towards the end. But unfortunately, I would say probably about 60-70% of it is gone. But never mind. Hey. So some of the footage will need to be subtitled due to the windy conditions up there. But bear with me, I'll try my best. So hope you do enjoy the video. Let's get started. So day one started in the Midlands, where we picked a run up and headed up the M6 towards Scotland. We did have a stopover along the way, but initially we headed into Glasgow, where our hotel was. Now we'd be staying in Dumbarton overnight before we headed into Ben Nevis the following day. So the journey up to Scotland was about 6 hours in total, and we arrived at the Premier Inn Dumbarton, which we were staying at for 3 nights. So on arrival we saw that the weather was actually quite good, and in fact it was better than we had expected. We were expecting rain and cloudiness, typical Scottish weather, but we were treated to blue skies and sunshine. So we decided to make the most of it and head down to nearby Loch Lomond. So on arrival there we decided to take a boat ride on a triple kayak. So there's me jumping on at the back, which unfortunately happens to get the most water because for some reason the water seems to go to the back. And yep, as you can guess, my trousers did get wet. Essentially looked like I'd pissed myself.
Alright, turn around. These guys they're gonna get wet. Yeah, I know.
There's a chance they could fall in.
That looks scary. Look. Which one are you guys going to? That's it, turn around. Which one are you guys going to?
Later on that evening, as the sun was setting, we decided to find a good spot where we could watch the sunset from. So we headed back to nearby our hotel, where we found a place called Dumbarton Castle. As you can see, some of the views from there were spectacular. Dumbarton Castle itself was closed due to what looked like refurbishment works, but here's a nice drone shot of it. The sunset was a nice perfect end to the day. So day 2, the day of the climb, we started very early at 6 AM as it was about a 2-hour ride to Ben Nevis. We went past Loch Lomond, up the A roads and into the Highland area. Now the weather had been forecasted to be quite bad, usual rain, fogginess, usual Scottish weather, so we were expecting the worst and preparing for the worst. Some of the sights were actually spectacular, and I'd imagine it'd be even more spectacular on a clearer day. So to motivate us for the climb, one of our friends decided to give the Lord of the Rings speech to motivate us for the climb itself. Have a listen.
Hold your ground, sons of Gondor, of Rohan, my brothers. I see in your eyes the same fear that will take the heart of you. A day may come when the courage of men fails, when we forsake our friends and break all bonds of fellowship. But it is not this day, an hour of wolves and shattered shields, when the age of men comes crashing down. But it is not this day we fight. By all that you hold dear on this good earth, I bid you stand, men of the West.
So after that invigorating speech, which woke us up, we stopped at a nearby viewpoint, and one of my friends got his drone out. We had some nice views of some Scottish Highlands which were shrouded in cloud, but they were still nice nonetheless. As you can see, I'm showing a nice cloudless day with blue skies. This would look spectacular. So after a few minutes playing around with the drone, we decided to set off, and it was probably an hour ride away where we reached Ben Nevis Visitor Centre car park. Now the Visitor Centre car park was actually quite empty at this time, so we parked right next to the actual building itself where the starting point is. There's a bridge that goes over this river, which is an accumulation of all the streams and waterfalls that come down the mountain. As you can see, it was a cloudy day to begin with, and we were expecting the worst, so we dressed accordingly. There was forecast of rain due to start at 1 p.m. Now the start of the terrain was actually quite gradual and wasn't difficult at all. The worst was yet to come, but at this point I was oblivious, and it was I would say it was a very nice and easy hike. The sun did start to come out, and so we stopped at this lake, which was about the 30% mark, to take some pictures. We then decided to stop at this particular waterfall, which is one of the main waterfalls that come down the mountain, and take some nice beautiful drone shots. As you can see, some of the scenery and terrain is spectacular. After proceeding from here, we continued the climb. Now the terrain started getting more and more rough and steeper, and eventually we saw patches of snow here and there. All I can say is this was no Sunday hike, although actually it was a Sunday that we climbed on. Calm weather for a moment, snow-capped mountains, and a bit of sun and some blue skies. What more can you ask for? We were expecting it to rain. We thought we were going to be soaked, so we brought ponchos. In fact, we probably should have brought more winter clothes. I mean, to be honest, I was wearing winter gloves and my hat and coat were sufficient, I would say. Now, I know I did promise that I'd subtitle it, but even I can't work out what I'm saying in this clip. But from what I recall, the snow was actually quite slippy. There wasn't much grip on it. Obviously, luckily I had my hiking boots, but I didn't have any walking poles like my friend here did, and it was quite difficult. As you can see further ahead, the terrain gets steeper and more blizzardy. Yeah, carry on. Not far to go, I guess. Careful. See. Let's do this climb.
Yeah, I remember this part was actually quite tricky because back then, yeah, it wasn't this now, it was like icy.
I think it must have snowed recently by the looks of it. Some of it looks fresh. To be fair, we have been having bad rain in the UK, which would have fell as snow here. See, it's that cold. So it's minus something here. tell how cold it is here. Look at the icicles on this thing. Yeah, still further to go. Zero visibility. Can't see nothing. It wasn't just some markers on that people had built. Probably get lost here. Well, these are the things I've been talking about. Markers placed along the path so that if the conditions are like they are now, where visibility is about 25, maybe 50 meters, you can actually work out which way to go. You can see them. But yeah, nice little hint which way to go. It's quite steep. I'd say it's about a 45-degree angle. Cameras just don't do it justice. Hopefully not far to go, but to be honest, I couldn't say. Could be 5 minutes away, 10 minutes, maybe even an hour away. And yeah, the sun's disappeared. And it's been left just white everywhere. As you can imagine, we made it to the top and it was absolutely crazy. We had such an adrenaline rush and we were super excited to be at the top. I think it was these crazy weather conditions, these crazy unexpected weather conditions that made the climb to the summit well worth it. By this time though, my hands were frozen and as you can see, so were my friends, so we decided to head back down. But not before getting the money shot. So, back from the peak, well, about a kilometer down from it. It was freezing. Basically, we got to the top, quickly snapped a few pictures before my phone died. I think it died quicker because of the extreme temperature there. It must have been what, minus 10, minus 15. I don't know, it felt really cold. As my hands were out, they basically froze and I had to put my hands away. Literally hung around for about a few minutes, snapped a few pictures and then legged it back down because it was truly blizzard conditions. I don't know how else to describe it. Oh my word. But yeah, that was an experience. I was even up there with people who are experienced in climbing Ben Nevis. They've never experienced anything like that. So yeah, what an experience. What a vibe. Yeah. So guys, this is the end of this particular video. Hope you've enjoyed this one. I know I've loved it. And I'm starting to think about the next mountain to climb now. But yeah, if you have been watching, thanks for watching. Do subscribe and give it a like. Thank you. Cheers. See you in the next one.